Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Roosevelt University's 165th commencement ceremony. I'm Corey Williams, Vice Provost for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. To honor our graduates, please rise and remain standing during the processional performed by the Chicago College of Performing Arts Double Brass Quintet. Now entering the theater, the Roosevelt University faculty. Now entering candidates for the master's and bachelor's degrees from the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Science. The master's and certificate degree candidates are led by banner carrier Nelly Ramirez, carrying the college's processional banner. The bachelor's degree candidates are led by banner carriers Cherise Thompson and Shelby Rasnick, carrying the college's processional banner. Now entering, candidates for the master's and bachelor's degrees from the Chicago College of Performing Arts. The master's and diploma degrees candidates are led by banner carriers Arvin Urgantumur and Chase Warren, carrying the college's Processional banner. The bachelor's degree candidates are led by banner carriers Leah Johnson and Karina Hunt, carrying the college's Processional banner. Now entering the theater, members of the platform party, college deans, vice presidents, keynote and student speakers, university senate chair, members of the board of trustees, the provost, and the president. Banner carriers, please proceed to the stage. Please remain standing and join in the singing of our national anthem, led by Macy Dannenhauer, Bachelor of Music, Voice 2027. Thank you, Macy. Please be seated. Roosevelt University is positioned on the traditional unceded homelands of the Council of the Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. Many other tribes, such as the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Sac, and Fox, also call this area home. Today, Chicago is home to one of the largest urban indigenous communities in the United States. With this land acknowledgement, the Roosevelt University community honors with gratitude this land and the indigenous people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. We recognize the indigenous people who laid the foundation for the city we inhabit, as well as the diverse indigenous nations that reside here today. We vow to do our part to right the historic wrongs of colonization, to support indigenous communities' struggles for self-determination, and to be better stewards of the land that we all inhabit. To all in the audience, we ask that you silence cell phones and other electronic devices as a courtesy to the graduates and those around you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mike Malley, Provost.
Graduates, family members, and friends, on behalf of the entire Roosevelt University community, it's my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to Roosevelt University's 165th commencement ceremony. Graduates, we are all here today to recognize you and celebrate your accomplishments. We are thrilled to be together in the Auditorium Theatre to commemorate this moment. And with that said, I'm gonna do this. Thank you. All right, so as you look around the theater, you will see the faces of the faculty members who nurtured you, mentored you, and supported you over the years. Your professors are just as grateful for what they have learned from you, your curiosity, your resilience, your commitment to your beliefs. I ask that the Roosevelt University faculty stand and be recognized. What a difference in the ceremonies from the morning to the afternoon. All right, graduates, thank you for contributing to Roosevelt University's history and tradition of excellence. We look forward to hearing from all of you in the years to come. We will all take great pride in your future successes. Now please welcome the president of Roosevelt University, Dr. Ale Malexide.
Thank you, Dr. O'Malley, and good afternoon, everyone. That was so lame. We're going to do it again. Good afternoon, everyone. Look at it this way. No more tuition payments. I know the parents and the loved ones are saying, yes, absolutely. All right, well, it is a pleasure to welcome all the graduates and your families to this momentous occasion, one that all of you can be proud of. That is freshman class of 2042, right there. Okay. Today is a day of celebration. You have completed your courses, mastered a discipline, and soon will be conferred your degrees. In the face of formidable challenges, you have achieved so much. Today is the culmination of many hours of hard work, close friendships, and deep resourcefulness. Now, I would like to welcome all of our special guests today, including our distinguished keynote speaker and honorary doctorate degree recipient, Tracy Roosevelt, our board chair, J.C. Gonzalez-Mendez, and our trustees who are on the platform, and Roosevelt faculty and the leadership of our colleges. So I now invite Dean Gina Bucola to join me in introducing our honorary degree recipient, Tracy Roosevelt.
Teresa Tracy Roosevelt is the great-granddaughter of Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. She received a bachelor's degree with honors from Brown University and a master's degree from the London School of Economics. Tracy received her JD from the Georgetown University Law Center. Effective June 1st, Tracy will be a member of Roosevelt University's Board of Trustees. Tracy recently served as the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Secretary of the Navy in the Biden-Harris administration. Before that, she spent 6 months in-house as attorney advisor to the General Counsel of the Navy. Prior to her government service, Tracy practiced law for nearly a decade. Before practicing law, she worked in London, where she researched and designed the thematic content for the former president of Nigeria's Presidential Library. She is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the American Society of International Law. Tracy lives in Washington, D.C. with her husband and 3 young children. Tracy Roosevelt, please join President Malexide and me at the podium. President Malexide, in recognition of her distinguished career in the field of law and as a bearer of the Roosevelt family legacy, I present Tracy Roosevelt as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Tracy Roosevelt, in recognition of these and other outstanding achievements, with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, it is a distinct honor to confer upon you the Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Ali. Congratulations. It is an honor to be here today to celebrate the achievements of this distinguished graduating class. I am proud this university is named in honor of my great-grandparents, Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. On this stage of the beautiful Auditorium Theatre, I follow in the footsteps of my family members who were present at Roosevelt commencements in the past. My great-grandmother, Eleanor Roosevelt, my great-uncle, John, my aunt, Anne, who is currently a lifetime trustee of the university. As you embark on the next phase of your lives as college graduates, I would like to remind you about the remarkable legacy of Roosevelt University and its connection to my great-grandparents. It is a legacy founded 80 years ago on a commitment to social justice, which this university is still dedicated to today. And I understand it's a commitment that each of you take seriously. 80 years ago last month, in April of 1945, World War II was drawing to a close. The YMCA College of Chicago decided to impose limits on the numbers of Jewish, Black, and Asian students they admitted. It was a morally wrong practice that was far too common in universities across the country at the time. The YMCA also wanted to prohibit the teaching of what they called controversial, partisan, and faction-breeding issues, such as race, religion, and labor studies, and they proposed to audit classes and report what was being taught. At that time, our nation was fighting against fascism and hate, and fighting for President Roosevelt's 4 freedoms: freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom of religion, and freedom of expression. The faculty, students, and staff believed that the YMCA's demands for racial and religious admissions quotas and for limits on freedom of speech were unacceptable. The YMCA college president, Edward Sparling, at first refused to provide information on student racial and religious identities, saying, "We don't count that way." He resigned under protest as he was about to be fired. The majority of faculty and staff resigned to support him, and the students voted enthusiastically to follow them to a new, more democratic college. My great-grandfather, President Franklin Roosevelt, died on April 12, 1945. And when his wife, Eleanor, was asked if the new college could be named for him, she enthusiastically agreed. She also agreed to be the leader of the first advocacy board, and thus the Roosevelt family partnership with this university began. To understand why the university's mission and commitment to social justice is so important to my family, and why I am so inspired by all of you, it's important to tell you a little bit about my great-grandmother, Eleanor. When she became First Lady of the United States during the Great Depression, she fought against racial discrimination in education, believing every child, regardless of background, had the right to learn. She was an avid supporter of student organizations and movements, and championed her husband's New Deal work relief program, the National Youth Administration, which was for high school and college students. Although my great-grandmother never went to college, an accomplishment all of you now have, she was a lifelong learner and an ardent supporter of higher education as a keystone of democracy. My great-grandfather, the president, shared his wife Eleanor's belief that higher education is a keystone of democracy. Toward the end of World War II, he asked one of his aides to interview American soldiers in Europe. He wanted to know what they most desired when they returned home. When the aide told President Roosevelt that the single most common request was access to higher education, his face lit up. educational benefits were a central component of the GI Bill passed in 1944. Those benefits made a huge difference, bringing thousands of veterans through the doors of Roosevelt College and to schools across the country. The ideals in the GI Bill echoed the belief of Roosevelt College's founding faculty, students, and staff. Their motto was, "Knowledge is essentially democratic and universal. It knows no borders, boundaries, color, creeds, or cultures." Democracy and social justice were uncommon attributes of higher education in those days. Roosevelt College was, as one newspaper reporter wrote, "not like any other college you ever saw. As you walk down the corridors and peer into the classrooms, you observe all races and colors." In addition, the founding faculty and staff included women and men, immigrants and refugees, and people who were native-born, African-American, white, Jewish, Catholic, Protestant, atheist, Latino, Hindu, and Asian. Many of them barred from working at other universities because of their ethnicity and race or religion. They had political differences. There was a conservative caucus and a liberal caucus, and yet this diverse community was united by a common commitment to democracy and education. In the fall of 1945, Eleanor Roosevelt, speaking to over 1,000 people at a celebration in Chicago, dedicated this new college to the enlightenment of the human spirit through the constant search for truth and to the growth of the human spirit through knowledge, understanding, and goodwill. Roosevelt College, she said, would teach persons of both sexes and of various races on equal terms and create a teaching faculty which is both free and responsible in the discovery and dissemination of truth. She remained unwavering in her support for the college. She visited the campus many times, meeting with students and helping with fundraising and publicity. In 1959, after the college became a university with a graduate school, the university celebrated Eleanor's 75th birthday with a rededication of its name to include Eleanor as well as Franklin. This became the only university in the world named for both Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. To me, the Roosevelt University story highlights the enormous courage it took to resist the intolerance, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness of those times. The founding community united for what they believed was just. Even when there was no assurance of money for salaries, a building, libraries, labs, and everything it takes to provide quality education. That took courage. It also took courage when a few years later they were investigated, along with the University of Chicago, for communist subversion because the seemingly radical mission of social justice and equity in education. Even when they were called the Little Red Schoolhouse, they persisted. But gradually, Roosevelt University became known as a model of democracy in education and Chicago's Equality Lab. The tradition of democracy and dedication to social justice continues. Each of you took mandatory courses in ideas of social justice, and many have taken classes in social justice studies, participated in numerous clubs and organizations focused on issues like racial and gender equity, international human rights, and reproductive rights. You attended programs, exhibits, and lectures on a variety of topics, including immigration, gun violence, restorative justice, and community leadership. You donated your time to social justice causes through the RU Legal Clinic, assisting underserved individuals in the community, as well as the VITA program providing free tax services to the community. There is also the Eleanor Roosevelt Social Justice Award and the Center for New Deal Studies. This is only a small fraction of the social justice activity taking place on campus. While a variety of perspectives still characterizes the range of student and faculty activities, a common belief in social justice and democracy prevails. Your university, Roosevelt University, is the model of what you can do for social justice as you progress in your career, whether it's in business and technology, the arts, science and health professions, education, law, public service, or even U.S. Congress, where 7 Roosevelt University graduates have served. As your career progresses, I hope you remember the legacy of your Roosevelt education. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." In my career, serving both in government as Deputy Chief of Staff to the Secretary of the Navy as part of the Biden-Harris administration, and in private law practice representing countries in international courts, I have seen that progress along the arc is not always linear. It moves 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and then soars a mile ahead. Please stay the course. If you do, you can change the world. A public interest lawyer shared what she calls the starfish story. A small boy walks on a beach after a storm, rescuing the starfish on shore by throwing them into the ocean. When a man approaches the boy and tells him that there are miles of beach and hundreds of starfish he cannot save, the boy listens politely, throws another starfish back into the surf, and smiling says, "I made a difference to that one." Be that person. That was always the perspective my great-grandmother Eleanor took as well. In the years to come, I hope you remain proud of your Roosevelt education. Whatever the future holds, remember the Roosevelt story of resilience, courage, empathy, resolve, and hope. Remember the building of an academic community against all odds that reflected the ideals of democracy. Remember that you now have the tools to be a bender of the arc of the moral universe. Choose to bend it toward justice. I am so honored to have had the opportunity to speak to you today. On behalf of the Roosevelt family, my congratulations. We are waiting to see how you make a difference. Thank you.
And now, it is my honor to introduce the chair of the Roosevelt University's Board of Trustees, J.C. Gonzalez Mendez.
Thank you, Tracy, for those very inspirational words, and we're so happy that you have accepted to sit on our Board of Trustees. I'm going to go off a script for just a minute. If I can have all graduates to please stand up. Please turn around and take a look at your support group, your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your loved ones. They are the real heroes of this story. Send them with a great round of applause. Thank you. Good afternoon, Roosevelt graduates. This is your moment. A celebration of everything that you have worked for, your grit, your growth, and your determination to finish what you started. But make no mistake, this moment, it's much bigger than any one of us. Because for many of you, this is a first. The first college graduate in your family. The first to break through barriers that were never meant to be there in the very first place. The first to show your community what's truly possible. And that is something to be really proud of. You should be proud, not just for your degree, but what it represents, your persistence, your purpose, and now your power. But here's the truth. Pride alone is not enough, because the price of leadership is responsibility. You're not just walking out of this stage with a diploma. You're walking off with a duty to speak up, to give back, to look around and ask, who else can I bring with me? 80 years ago, this university was born from that same mindset. In 1945, colleges across the country were being asked to limit access based on race, religion, and gender. But Roosevelt founders made a different choice. A visionary leader and 62 faculty members stood up and said, "We don't count that way." Can you repeat that? We don't count that way. We like to say that we don't count heads, we make heads count at Roosevelt. Those 5 words became our foundation, words of courage, or principle of radical acceptance. Roosevelt University was built not to exclude, but to include. Not to close doors, but to open them. And you, the class of 2025, are living proof of that mission. At Roosevelt, we believe that whatever your background, whatever your religion, your potential deserves a chance to rise. And when you rise, it lifts others too. You did not get here by accident. You got here through courage, through long nights, early mornings, setbacks, comebacks, and the strength to keep going. But now, as you take your next step, I want you to carry something with you. Keep saying, "We don't count that way." Say it when you're in a room and someone is being left out. Say it when you're in a position to lead and someone needs a hand up. Say it when the world tries to measure people by what they lack instead of what they have to give. Because the world doesn't need more people with college degrees. The world needs more people like you. People who know that success isn't just about how far you go, it's about how many people you bring along. So yes, be proud to celebrate today, but tomorrow, get to work. Build something, change something, be a leader in your community needs and deserve. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Class of 2025, keep dreaming, keep believing, but most of all, keep building a better future, not just for yourselves, but for everyone coming after you. Congratulations, we're so very proud of you.
Thank you, Chair Gonzalez-Mendez. Now, I would like to introduce our student commencement speaker, Job Bayer Barbosa. Job Bayer Barbosa is a proud first-generation college student. He's currently earning his master's in psychology en route to a doctorate in clinical psychology. Job was born in Laguna, Santa Catarina, Brazil, and raised in North London, England. He is fluent in English, Portuguese, and Spanish. Job came to the United States to pursue college soccer, a journey that led him to Georgetown College in Kentucky. There, he triple majored in psychology, communications, and religion. He graduated summa cum laude, was honored to serve as the 2022 graduating class speaker, and received the Dean's Honor Award, which is granted to the top 3 graduating seniors. At Roosevelt, Job serves as a graduate assistant in the Office of Residence Life and teaches as an adjunct faculty member in the psychology department. Looking ahead, he plans to work as a clinical psychologist after he graduates. Outside of Roosevelt, you'll find Job running, literally. He's on a mission to become the first person in history to run every single street in the city of Chicago by the end of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Job Bello Barbosa.
Good afternoon, my friends. Everyone doing all right, yeah? Good, good, lovely. Let me just get set up here really quickly. Lovely. With a show of hands, how many here graduating were born after 2000? How many here graduating were born after 2000? Yeah, majority. Whether you're born in 1981, 2001, one thing's true. We've all gone through college with some pretty advanced technology. And let's be honest, if you haven't used ChatGPT at some point in your college career to outline a paper or an email or to help with an existential crisis, then I have to assume you enjoy unnecessary struggle. Anyway, my name is Job, and so many times I've been asked about my most distinct memory at Roosevelt University. And what I say is basically this. First semester, I was in one of the lifts. Now, if you've ever taken lifts, you know they have a personality. They either take forever, especially today, my gosh. But they either take forever, they stop on every floor for ghosts, or just decide to not clock in for work. So there I am, stood with some other bloke on the lift, just minding my own business. We're both on our phones, you know, classic lift behavior. And then out of nowhere, the lift makes this horrific screeching noise and comes to a sudden stop. And then I'm there, and this bloke just looks at me and he says, I guess this is how we die. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. But after some time, the doors open, and that is how I met my best friend in college. So, yeah, how interesting. Anyway, so I don't know why we're clapping for that, but anyway. Now, whether you're a first-generation college student, whether you've worked multiple jobs through college, whether you've left your country, your state, your city, your home to be here, today is a testament to something more than just hard work. Today is a testament to being stubborn. We're frequently told by our parents or by people around us that being stubborn is something negative and that we shouldn't be so stubborn. However, Roosevelt University was founded on being stubborn. Think about the audacity of establishing a school in 1945 that rejected the status quo of education at the time. The unwavering commitment to inclusion. People were told no elsewhere, were instead told, yes, you belong here. That's the kind of stubbornness we inherit. And let me tell you why being stubborn matters. In March of 2024, my life changed forever. Let me tell you the story. I climbed Mount Washington in New Hampshire, known for being the windiest place on earth and advertised as having the world's worst weather, which is where I got this little rock from. But with hurricane-level winds and a wind chill of below zero at the summit, I dramatically fall down the mountain, hitting my body and my face onto a rock, knocking me unconscious. With the unforgiving and merciless cold settling in, hypothermia takes hold, and frostbite begins to eat at my flesh. In this moment, I'm more than just cold. I'm on the precipice of losing everything, my life, fragile and uncertain, hanging in the balance. But I was found, I was rescued, and I survived. And once I recovered, I started running to get the blood flowing after suffering from frostbite. Running became my way of healing, my way of fighting back. And in surviving, I realized I wasn't just running for the sake of it. I was running for my life. Being stubborn is what pushed me. Being stubborn is what pushed us through every late night study session. Being stubborn is what pushed us through those days where we stared at a blank screen, willing our brain to produce just one more page, just one more paragraph. Being stubborn is what kept us going. We had more assignments than we had hours to sleep. Being stubborn is what made us sign up for classes even when life threw everything at us, when it threw bills, family obligations, and self-doubt our way. We're frequently told to be flexible, to be adaptable, to go with the flow. And yes, those things have their place. However, what gets us across the finish line isn't our willingness to bend. It's our refusal to break. Being stubborn is the sheer, unrelenting, irrational belief that if no one thought we could, then day by day we show we have to. And so I kept running, and I thought, facing death while in the freezing temperatures of Mount Washington makes everything else seem like just another walk in the park. So that's how I found myself running through the streets of Chicago, and not just a few laps around Grant Park or early morning runs along the Lakefront Trail, but the whole city, every single street. It seemed an impossible challenge to begin with, but if no one thought I could, then day by day I showed I had to. I started back in August of 2024, and essentially I'm currently at 45% of the way there and hope to become the first person in history to run every single street of Chicago by the end of this year, hopefully. Friends, for those graduating, did you get a little fridge magnet like this? If you have, hold it up. No. Oh, yes. Oh, nice. Perfect. Amazing. Yay. It just says, be stubborn. Being stubborn isn't just about enduring the hard days. It's about pushing through and refusing to stop, even when it makes rational sense to stop. And as we move forward into the next chapters of our lives, whether that's continuing with education, starting a new job, or for some of us, taking a well-earned break, let's keep that stubbornness alive. Let's be stubborn about our dreams, even when they seem impossible. Let's be stubborn about this is what happens when you try and memorize a whole script. Let's be stubborn in our belief that we can make a difference, even when others try to shake them. Let's be stubborn, essentially. I know it's cliche to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Things may end, but memories will last forever. The Bible in Lamentations 3:21 says, "But I remember, and therefore I have hope." What we've gone through gives me hope for the future. She gives us all hope for the future. We've gone through stress, we've gone through uncertainty, we've gone through a pandemic, we've gone through sleepless nights because of assignments, breakups, and even because of bloody tornado warnings. We've gone through major staff changes, some for the better, some for the worse. We've had students come and go. We've been sad, we've been happy, we've cried, we've laughed. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, but we're here. This is the culmination of it all. So I want to record this moment, and I'm not copying Dr. Malley because I already had this idea, but I want to take a selfie with everyone. So here we go. Everyone smile and wave. Lovely. You lot look fantastic. I want to say thank you. Okay. No, just flexing. I'll pick that up later. Thank you to everyone who made these years everything they were. Thank you to all 500 of us who are graduating for the unforgettable memories. Thank you to the 165 faculty members for providing us with top-notch education. Thank you to the 49 coaches of our sports teams and to the countless dance teachers for keeping a lot of us fit while we ate a lot of the calf. Thank you to the countless staff members who kept this place running. Whether or not you could be here today, I want to thank every family member and friend for your undeniable support and for the love that continues to be poured into us each and every day. Finally, as we step into this world, let's remember, life is a lot like lifts. Unpredictable, sometimes slow, sometimes it's about to fall apart. But hold on, because the doors will eventually open. And as we step off this stage today, let's not just be ambitious. Let's not just be hopeful. Let's be stubborn. Because if no one thinks we can, then day by day we show we have to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Job, for your thoughtful, compelling, and generous remarks, and for being with us today, even if you stole my idea. So now's the moment for which we have come together, the conferring of the earned degrees upon Roosevelt University's class of 2025. In keeping with the significance of the occasion and out of respect for your classmates, we ask that you return to your seats after receiving your degrees and remain there until the ceremony ends. All right, so yay. I would now like to invite Dean Regina Bucola to present the candidates receiving master's degrees in the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. The names of the candidates will be read by Mike Bryson and Celeste Chamberlain.
I now present candidates receiving master's degrees from the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. Candidates, please rise and proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. President Melexide, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, it is my pleasure to present the following candidates for their master's degrees.
Dean Bucola, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these worthy candidates their master's degrees. Congratulations.
Neely Flor Ramirez.
Haynal Adam.
Gabriella Allen.
Veronica Alonso.
Alejandra Angel.
Lenice Bethia.
Justin Birkland.
Sabina Basine.
Alexandra Bomber.
Demi Buzanas.
Grace Boyer.
Faith Brown.
Barbara Bruca.
Stephanie Camarena.
Arrow Cavalier.
Alexandra Chmielewski.
Carolyn Daniels.
Yanira Delgado.
Madeline DeMonica.
Joseph Cabo.
Tracy Fink.
Kendall Fitzpatrick.
Rebecca Ann Forbes.
Takia Karenina Ford.
Phyllis Taylor.
Ernestine McCullum.
James Forneck.
Fernanda Garza.
Luz M. George.
Christu Geese.
Vanessa Gonzalez.
Estefania Gonzalez Arezea.
Patricia Gilbert.
Sadie Gottlieb.
Stephanie Granados Estrada.
Elena Joanna Grancharski.
Ruti Greenfield.
Catherine Hayner.
Taylor Herman.
Isela Hernandez.
Armando Paulo Hofilena.
Mirella Holick.
Fernanda Hopkins, magna cum laude.
Eduardo Huerta.
Nina Ida Chandi.
Kayla Karbowski.
Rajesh Khan.
Adam Kurzak.
Varvara Lebdeva.
Jasmine Lewis.
Christina Liss.
LaQuanche Luddington.
Catherine Madison.
Ashley Mahome.
Tessa Morse.
Pima Minta.
Caroline Merkel.
Jasmine Medina.
Kara McGowan.
Andre May.
Aaliyah Nichols.
Maria E. Narcissi.
Jacob O'Brien.
Edson Orantes.
Ainoa Ortiz Noriega.
Christina Isabel Otero Lopez.
Rachel Peterson.
Angelica Ramirez.
Grace Raskop.
Maria Reyes.
Guadalupe Reyes.
Yahara Rodriguez.
Joanna Rivera.
Danielle Renee Roach.
Vivian Road.
Olivia Romano.
Melissa Sanchez.
Sandra Santa Maria, summa cum laude.
Samantha Scheringhausen.
Michael Schenk.
Alondra Sepulveda.
Alexandra Villarreal.
Alicia Snow, summa cum laude.
Dion Thacker.
Sylvia Astudillo.
Hiba Wahid.
Suhe Tovar.
Ark Farino.
Margarita Ruiz.
Lisette Aguilar.
Jennifer Reyes.
Sean Trapp.
Ariel Van der Rey.
Anna Jeanette Zavala Sandoval.
Sharon Davis.
Erica Fletcher.
Antigona Hofferkamp.
Annalisa Lozada.
Keena Preston.
Jacqueline Ramirez.
Alvino Solis.
Alec Consini.
I would now like to introduce Dean Kevin Hampton, who will present the candidates receiving master's degrees from the Chicago College of Performing Arts. The names of the candidates will be read by Barbara Zahora and Adam Neiman.
I now present candidates receiving master's degrees from the Chicago College of Performing Arts. Candidates, please rise and proceed to the stage to receive your degrees. President Melexide, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Chicago College of Performing Arts, it is my pleasure to present the following candidates for their master's degrees.
Dean Hampton, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Chicago College of Performing Arts, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these worthy candidates their master's degrees. Congratulations.
Arvin Ur Gantumur. Chase Warren. Daniel Brennan. Michael Gerard Carr II. Christina C. Crawford.
Heidi Louise Close.
Lily Galuzzo.
Matthew Banks Burke.
Daniel Brandt Esquivel.
Stephanie Spars.
Derek Curtis. Buyanto Lchasaranov. Gustavo M. Negron Rosario. Ivan Resendez. Carlos Lozano Sanchez. Zofia Gornich. Luke Gies. John Guzdak IV. Rachel Handrick. Santiago Uribe Cardona. Harper Davis. Tongfei Zhang. Emma Brown.
We need to give Job his degree, so.
First, you need to go, wait. You need to go there, announce your name, and then you walk.
Yes.
Over there, let's go. Be stubborn.
Come on this side.
Me?
Yes, there.
Joe Barbosa. Baya Barbosa. I forgot my first last name.
Okay, now it's time to present the degrees, the candidates receiving bachelor degrees. So, yay!
I know.
Job threw me off, the whole thing. So students, at the end of the ceremony, we will have a special time to turn your tassels, but not quite yet. For now, they should be on the right side of your mortarboard. Once again, out of respect for your fellow graduates, please return to your seats after receiving your degrees and remain there until the ceremony ends. I would now like to invite Dean Regina Bucola back up here to present candidates receiving bachelor's degrees from the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences. The names of the candidates will be read by Mike Bryson and Celeste Chamberlain.
College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences students, please rise and proceed to the stage to receive your degree. President Melchizedek, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, It is my pleasure to present the following candidates for their bachelor's degrees.
Dean Biocolo, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the College of Humanities, Education, and Social Sciences, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these worthy candidates their bachelor's degrees. Congratulations.
Cherise Faith Thompson.
Shelby Rasnick.
Angel Hilario Alvarez.
Shonda Allen.
Gabriela Aguinaga Hernandez.
D'Angelo Ackley.
Amina Beymanhan.
Gloria Alvarez.
Christian Aralenas.
Natalie Asmussen.
Sofia Aviles.
Grace Beyer, summa cum laude.
Kennedy Brown.
Nathan Brown.
Zedric Cobbs.
Evelyn Corona.
Jalisa Carrasco.
Tiffany Calito.
Christian Cayuet.
Laurentian Chase Blakeney, summa cum laude.
Jacob Biddle.
Nancy Flores.
Genevieve Estrada.
Chanel Easter.
Bryn Dvorak.
Holly Lynn Durand.
Yesel Duenas Esparza.
Mason A. Delk, magna cum laude.
Jaden Holly Foster.
Vanya Franco.
Maria Gamino.
Giselle Garcia.
William Gorski.
Elijah Griggs.
Jordan Groth.
Devin Jarvis.
Chelsea Assisi.
Amado Herrera.
Jonathan Hernandez.
Erica Hayden, cum laude.
Siobhan Hawkins.
Gianna Harris.
Natalie Guy.
Gabriel Calotios.
Marjorie Kiana Kerr.
Shannon Cavill.
Gabriella Kiela.
Rochelle Kostovetsky.
Sarah Jean McGowan.
Kilani Monterosso.
Isabella Montoya.
Leswin Ramirez.
Megan Sharkey McGovern.
Madison Martin.
Nina Matfield.
Ava Mancini.
Kendall Lowry.
Miguel Mendez.
Alejandro Mena.
Sarai Rodriguez.
Jessica Rodriguez.
Benaya Robinson.
Cecilia Chiarte.
Athena Pomele Penn.
Lupita Peralta.
Samuel Palki, summa cum laude.
Jessica Nambo, cum laude.
Nadia Savchuk.
Karen Salgado.
Rachel Sachs.
Kelly Rosenblum.
Alejandro Roman.
Mara Roldan.
Ann Sefner.
Amanda Schaefer.
Alex Shore.
Maria Schmarina.
Leilani Nicole Smith, magna cum laude.
Rima Sony.
Shirlette Stackhouse.
Sarah Tomto.
Paige Turner, summa cum laude.
Alexander J. Valera.
Samuel Villegas.
Jessica Warias.
Jessica White.
Joy Cedarberg.
Jenny Sandifer.
Sylvia Salazar.
Raul Villarreal.
Isabella Walton.
Luis Funes Aparicio.
Charisma Olivia Woods.
Emma Wakurka, magna cum laude.
Allison Marie Whiteheck.
Pamela Ortuno.
Candida Cruz.
Mauricio Da Vinci Beltran.
Alejandro Rivas.
Araceli Ochoa Mendoza.
Alexia Mendoza Lagunas.
Lisa J. Lopez, magna cum laude.
Valeria Lopez Lopez.
Darian Dalani Lucas.
Yex Lejeune.
Rita Puhalski.
Moroli Ramos.
Allison Regier.
Natasha D. R. Smith.
Yuvia Araceli Aguirre.
Nina Rodriguez.
Carolina Puente.
Joseph Maltese, summa cum laude.
Tatiana Mac Sanders.
Yin Yin Liang.
Nyla Wells.
Montserrat Herrera.
Nancy Padilla Martinez.
Caitlin Saucedo.
Elva Contreras.
Osiris de Jesus Perez Cruz.
Simone Bragg Hines.
Shanitha Townsend.
Nina Saxena.
Mercedes Delgado.
Leticia Jimenez.
Karima Dyson.
Shantivia Williams.
Kim Cunningham.
Lee Ann Ford.
Brenda Dimajur Corbin.
Karen Harrison.
Angelique Bowles.
Joy Brock.
Ronisha Barnes.
Kanan Espinoza.
Haji Dylan Tucker.
Stephanie Torres.
Hayden Chase Farino.
Yao Enti.
Margarita Martinez.
Shannon McDaniel.
Yesenia Martinez.
Tanya Bryant.
Amber Bringle.
Vanessa Vargas Roman.
Ariana Bekteshi.
Jessica James.
Alberto Patrice Ortega.
Brenda Gamino.
Brandon Gardner.
Erica Cappert.
Charles Garcia.
Natalia Cobbins.
Carlos Alvarado.
Haley Denton.
Tony Nashat Haddad.
Gianna Esposito.
Robin Sutton.
Martina Rychek.
Marvin Lopez.
Eddie Leo Villarreal.
Lisa R. White.
Alyssa Rada.
Alicia Ramirez.
Alisa Moreno.
Nathan Nevabelski.
Ana Jimenez.
Leslie Esubio Trejo.
Brittany Capers.
Elizabeth Benitez.
Destiny Ashcraft.
Yamilet Oliveros.
William Volney.
Fiona Winfrey.
Chanel Washington. Sigma Gamma Rho.
Tempest L. Fenderson.
James Hunt.
I would now like to invite Dean Kevin Hampton to present the candidates receiving bachelor's degrees from the Chicago College of Performing Arts. The names of the candidates will be read by Barbara Zahora and Adam Newman.
Thank you, Provost Malley. In the arts, we often pivot, so I am going to improvise just briefly. President Malexide, I present to you our professional diplomatists from the College of Performing Arts, followed by our undergraduate students.
Okay. All right.
Undergraduates, please rise and proceed to the stage to receive your bachelor's degrees following our professional diplomatists.
Okay. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Chicago College of Performing Arts and with authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these worthy candidates their degrees. Congratulations.
Anila Aliu. Ryan Karanda. Qishuan Xie. Nurlan Jetiru.
Leah Johnson. Karina Hunt, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. James Lee Anderson. Jack Antonio, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Cody Baxa. Natalie Beck, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Catherine Bevensey, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Marianne Boaz, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Noah Bruckshin, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Joy Campbell, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Eleanor Duffy, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Hannah Duncan. Mary Einhorn, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Zachary Fueling. Julie Beth Fine, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Madeline Gallagher, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Jeremy Garcon Navarro. Allison Horvaton, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Sophia Hines, magna cum laude. Sydney Howes, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Nafia Chantel Hunter Lee, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Bit of a fumble, but Anna Johnson, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Patrick Johnson, cum laude. Jack Jones, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. William Carls, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Gabriella Kozial, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Aiden Lake, magna cum laude. Juan Pablo Madero Gonzalez, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Claire Louise McFarland, cum laude. Kate McQuillan, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Victoria Miller, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Christian Moreno. Haley Myers, magna cum laude. Felicia Niebel, cum laude. Emma Oji, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Ainsley Orozco, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Shaylee Ostland, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Sydney Peterson, magna cum laude. Nicole Brodus, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Hannah Remian, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Grace Ridenauer, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Ryan Reinke, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Sydney Schenker, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Gracie Lynn Scullion, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Ty Shea, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Alexa Smith, magna cum laude, Franklin Honors. Austin Smith. Jackson Smith, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Tristan Smith, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Keegan Spur, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Isabella Kreider. Kylie Tollefson, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Lauren Avery Trevino, cum laude. Duda Viana Regis, summa cum laude, Franklin Honors. Ryan Vu, cum laude. Joseph Yanis, magna cum laude.
Emily Rose Swyjack, summa cum laude. Carol Zambrano. Kyungmin Yang. Colin Stillday, cum laude. Fiona Catherine Schmilk, cum laude. Nathan Reynolds. Yatchun Poo. Jengya Nie, summa cum laude. Olivia Moyer, summa cum laude. Noah Mercadillo. Jordan Meeks, cum laude. Mingtat Keith Lau, magna cum laude. Ning Jiang, cum laude. Lauren Ho, summa cum laude. Reed Gowan, magna cum laude. Lidanis Albrin Grateros Simancas. Imani Lachey Francis. Jack Ellis, summa cum laude. Anthony Eisel, magna cum laude. Shelby Lynn Condit, summa cum laude. Riley Brown, magna cum laude. Haley Mesgebe Burhe. London Batts, cum laude. Graham Eulery, magna cum laude. Gerald Floyd III. Devin Fisher. And Diego Correa.
Well, please join me in another round of applause for our graduates. Now, this was a very good practice run. We're going to come back tomorrow and do it over again. Now, I believe that higher education is essential to achieving the American dream. Eleanor Roosevelt and her husband, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the namesakes of this university, also thought a great deal about the role that education plays in our nation and in the world. Eleanor Roosevelt said, I quote, "I think if this college can send out people who are trained to a sense of responsibility, then I think we will have done a tremendous work for democracy at home and for a solution to the great world problems." She was also proud of the religious, ethnic, racial, and economic diversity of Roosevelt students, faculty, and staff. She said, "Here in this great city, you have many, many races, many religions. And in Roosevelt College, these races and these religions will meet. They will work together and will be an example of what can be achieved by cooperation. Her words carry as much weight today as it did then. Use what you have learned to devise bold solutions to today's problems and heal our divided communities. Therefore, today is about you and what you have accomplished. Starting tomorrow, it is about your family, your community, and your responsibility as an educated citizen to improve our democracy. So I hope Eleanor Roosevelt's words about responsibility, diversity, cooperation inspire you as you go out in the world with your brand new degrees. I hope you're proud of the legacy of this university that values diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I know you will be proud alumni of Roosevelt University. So before we go to the symbolic flipping of tassels by the undergraduates, and I know that's what you're waiting for, I want to make a few requests from the graduating class. First, would all of you who are first in your family to receive the level of degree you are receiving today, please stand. We're going to be here all day. Now, would all honors students please stand? Would all students who are veterans or have veterans in your family please stand? And would all international students please stand? Now, this is for the audience. Would the alumni of Roosevelt University who are in the audience please stand? And speaking of alumni, graduates, you are now members of the Roosevelt University Alumni Association. So be sure to keep your information updated. In closing, let us not forget our commitment to serve one another and embrace our mission of social justice and inclusion. As you go forth, remember to lean on the strength of your diverse and talented network here in this theater. Together, we can help build a much just society. So my sincerest congratulations to you and your family on this joyous day. So I now turn over the mic to the one and only, the voice of Roosevelt University, Vice President Mike Cassidy.
Hello, Lakers. Thank you, President-elect today. Hold on a second. The voice of Roosevelt used a lot of it in the 10 a.m. show. My name is Mike Cassidy, and I am the Vice President of Athletics and Student Athlete Success here at Roosevelt. Now I know we're about ready to close up shop. There are pictures and festivities awaiting us. But first, before we go, let's give a round of applause to recognize our outstanding musicians in the Chicago College of Performing Arts Double Brass Quintet. Today's ceremony will conclude with the turning of the tassels and the singing of the Roosevelt Alma Mater. We ask that all guests stay at their seats until after the platform party, faculty, and graduates have left the theater. Once again, we ask that all guests stay at their seat until after the platform party, faculty, and graduates have left the theater. A reminder that immediately following the ceremony, we invite graduates and their families to proceed to Fame and Lounge on the second floor of the Auditorium building on the Michigan Avenue side to take pictures with President Alexaday. Everyone must exit the theater promptly after the ceremony. And now, for that symbolic moment we've all been waiting for. In a moment, I will lead our undergraduates in the transferring of your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left side, which signifies your graduation and earned degree. But before we get there, perhaps when you walked across the stage, one of your family members might have felt like, I missed the moment. Now, let me tell this crowd something different than the 10 o'clock show. Not many people miss the moment here at the 2 o'clock show. I appreciate the air horns up in the balcony. And yet, these were individual moments. What I will now need is for Laker family, friends, partners to unite in one loud voice. Because I do not want to undervalue this moment for our undergraduates. This is their scream from the mountaintop moment. This is the finality. This is the end that signifies them reaching and earning their bachelor's degree. So in a moment, in about 3 seconds to be exact, I am going to ask our undergraduates to stand up. At that point, I want us to collectively get as loud as possible here in this great auditorium theater to recognize our undergraduates. So are we ready? Are we ready? Undergraduates, please rise. You may now turn your tassel from the right side of your mortarboard to the left side, signifying your graduation and earned degree. And now, by the power invested in me, I now pronounce you Lakers for life. Congratulations to the class of 2025. As we conclude our ceremony, please join us in the singing of the Roosevelt Alma Mater, sung this afternoon by Edward Nadenachek, Bachelor of Fine Arts Musical Theater class of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, Edward Nadenachek.